The edge of the tower, the wind was cold and strong at the top of the tower. The sky above was gray. Far below, the world looked small and quiet. But in the heart of the alien girl, there was only noise, loud, painful noise. She stood at the edge, looking down. Her silver hair moved in the wind. Her eyes, once full of stars, were now empty. Her name was Iliari. She was young, but she felt very old. Too many memories. Too much pain. No one was supposed to see her. No one was supposed to care, but someone did. "Hey!" a voice shouted from behind. "Stop." Iliari turned her head slightly. A human man was running toward her. He had short, dark hair, a scar on his cheek, and worry in his eyes. "Don't." "Jump," he said, breathing hard. "Please." Iliari said nothing. She looked back at the city below. "You don't know me," he said, taking slow steps forward. "But I saw you. From the street. You looked like you needed help." She still didn't speak. He stopped walking and raised both hands. "Okay, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just asking you to wait. Just 5 minutes." "Why?" she finally said. Her voice was soft, like broken glass. "There's nothing." The man nodded slowly. "Yeah, I've said those same words before." She turned to face him. "Then you understand." "Yes," he said. "But I'm still here. Maybe that means something." The wind blew harder. A small tear slid down her cheek, but she didn't wipe it. "My name is Kale," the man said. "I was a soldier. In the war." Her eyes narrowed. "You killed my people." He didn't deny it. "Yes, I did. I thought they were monsters. I was told they were they not?" She asked. "No," he said. "They were scared, just like us." Silence. Kale took another step. "I lost everything. My wife, my daughter, my home. I was ready to end it once, too. Just like you." Iliari blinked. Her lips trembled. "But someone stopped me," Kale said. "A stranger. He didn't even know my name. He just sat with me, gave me food. Let me talk. Did it help?" He nodded. "Not right away, but it made me feel seen, like I mattered." Iliari looked down again. Her feet were on the edge. "I don't matter anymore," she said. "I'm the last of my kind. There is no home to go back to." "You're wrong," Kale said. "You're breathing. That means there's still something you can do. Something only you can do." She shook her head. "There is only pain. I know," he said gently. "But there's also hope. Small, quiet, but it's real." She turned her full body now, looking at him properly. Her eyes glowed faint blue, the sign of her alien blood. "Why do you care?" she asked. He looked straight into her eyes. "Because I couldn't save my daughter. Maybe I can save someone else's." Her knees gave out. She fell to the cold floor, hands covering her face. She started to cry, not loud, not wild, just silent tears that had waited too long. Kale walked over slowly and sat near her, leaving space. "You're not alone," he said. Not anymore. For a long time, they sat like that. The wind kept blowing. The sky grew darker. Finally, she spoke again. "I'm Iliari, I know," he said softly. "And I'm sorry." She looked at him with tired eyes. "Why did you really come up here?" He paused. Then said, "Because someone had to." Iliari looked out over the city once more. She wasn't sure if she was ready to live. But for the first time in a long time, she wasn't ready to die either. Her voice broke the silence again. "Why should I trust a human?" Kale didn't smile. He only said the truth. "Because I was the one sent to kill your kind, and I didn't." Her eyes widened. A war that left no home. The silence between them was deep. Iliari stared at Kale. Her eyes were sharp now, no longer empty. What did you just say? Kale sat still, his voice calm but heavy. I was one of the soldiers who stormed your world, but I didn't pull the trigger when I saw the children. Iliari's heart beat fast. Memories flooded her mind. The screaming, the burning sky. Her mother shouting her name, running through the fire. One memory stood out the day a human soldier pointed a gun at her, then lowered it. She had always wondered why. You? She whispered. That was you. Kale nodded slowly. You were just a child, hiding in a broken temple. I saw the fear in your eyes, and I couldn't do it. Iliari stood up. Her legs shook. You should have. No, he said. I made the right choice. She turned away, her fists tight. That day, you spared me. But you didn't stop the war. You still destroyed my home. Kale didn't argue. He looked out at the sky. You're right. I didn't stop it. I couldn't. Orders were orders. Then you're no different, she snapped. You still helped kill my people. He looked up at her, and I still see their faces every night. She paused. Kale stood now too. I didn't come here to ask for forgiveness. I came because I couldn't stay silent anymore. I wanted you to know. Someone chose not to kill. Iliari looked at him for a long time. Her voice softened. Why didn't you? That day, why did you let me go? Kale took a deep breath. Because you looked like my daughter. That stopped her. She was sick, he said. Back home, she died while I was on your planet. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I guess when I saw you, I saw her. And I couldn't shoot someone so young, so scared. A soft wind passed over them. Iliari sat back down. This time, not. At the edge, Kale sat too. Do you want to know how the war started? She asked quietly. He nodded. She spoke slowly, like her words were made of stone. The humans came first. Ships landed on our moon. We welcomed them. We showed them our cities, our ways. But then more ships came. Bigger ones, with guns. Kale listened, silent. They said we were dangerous, that we had to be controlled, but we were peaceful. Until they attacked a school. Kale closed his eyes. I know. We were told lies too, that you were building weapons, that you were preparing for war. I was 10, Iliari said, voice shaking. I watched my mother die in front of me. Tears touched the edge of her eyes, but didn't fall. She was a queen, yes, but she was also kind. She loved music, flowers. She believed peace was always possible. Kale looked at her. She sounds like someone who deserved to live. She did, Iliari whispered. They burned her alive. Neither spoke for a long time. Finally, Kale asked, Why did you come to this city? Why now? Iliari sighed. I was hiding for years, deep in the mountains. But I kept hearing stories that Earth was healing, that humans were building again, not destroying. So you came to see it for yourself. She nodded. But when I saw your cities, your smiles, I didn't feel hope. I felt forgotten. Like my people died for nothing. Kale touched the scar on his cheek. Many humans died too. But no one talks about what it cost both sides. She looked at him. Is that why you speak to me now? Guilt? No, Kale said. Not just guilt. Maybe I saw something worth saving. She frowned. I'm not worth saving. You are, he said firmly. You survived. That means something. You're still here. And that means your story isn't over. She didn't reply. A soft sound broke the silence and engine in the sky. Kale looked up. A black drone passed far overhead, scanning the city. Iliari's body went still. They're looking for me. Kale stood. Who? I don't know, but someone knows I'm alive. She backed away, fear returning to her eyes. Kale reached into his coat and pulled out a small silver chip. Then we move now. I know a place. Safe, quiet. They won't find you. She hesitated. Why would you help me? Because once. I made the mistake of following orders, he said. Now I follow my heart. Iliari stepped closer. Not quite trusting. Not yet. But something in her had changed. All right, she said softly. Just for now. As they disappeared into the alley below, the drone turned slowly, its red eye glowing brighter. Hunted the night was cold and quiet, but danger moved in the dark. A black drone hovered high above the city. Its red eye scanned rooftops, streets, windows. It wasn't looking for a human. It was looking for her, Iliari, somewhere below, in the shadows. She ran. Her breathing was fast, but quiet. Her feet hit the ground like whispers. Beside her, Kale moved quickly too, keeping close. His old soldier eyes scanned every corner. We need to get underground, he said. Now Iliari didn't argue. She could feel something watching. Her. Something not human. Something cold. They reached an old metal door behind a market. Kale typed a code. The door creaked open. Inside was a staircase, old and dusty. They moved down quickly. The door shut behind them. They were inside an old subway tunnel, now forgotten by time. Is this safe? Iliari asked, looking around. For now, Kale said. This place was shut down during the last energy crisis. Nobody comes here. Iliari sat on a broken bench. Her hands shook slightly. That drone. It was military. Kale nodded. Not Earth military. Tech was alien. She looked up. Then someone from my side survived. Or someone from both sides built something. Together, Kale said darkly. Iliari's eyes narrowed. That means they don't want peace. They want power. Kale sat beside her. War always leaves ghosts. Some people live for it. They don't stop until every last enemy is gone. She hugged her arms. Then I'm the last enemy. Not to me, Kale said. Not anymore. Suddenly, a sharp sound echoed in the tunnel. Click, click footsteps. Ili. Ari stood fast, her eyes glowing faintly blue. Kale raised his hand. Don't use your power yet. We don't know who it is. From the darkness, a man stepped out. He wore black armor with no markings. His face was covered. In his hand was a long silver weapon. He pointed it at Iliari. You're coming with me. Kale stepped between them. Back off. You're protecting her, the man asked. Voice? Robotic? You know what she is. She's not your target. Kale growled. Leave. The man didn't move. She's the last Iliari royal. Her DNA unlocks ancient tech. Weapons, ships, control codes. If she lives, war begins again. Said leave, Kale warned. You'll have to go through me. The man didn't speak. He pulled the trigger. A flash of red light burst from the weapon. Kale dove, pulling Iliari to the side. The beam missed, but it melted the bench behind them. Iliari stood up, her hands glowing now, her eyes bright blue. Her voice was sharp like thunder. Enough. She raised her hand. The tunnel shook. Rocks fell from the ceiling. Lights exploded. A wave of blue energy pushed the man back, slamming him into a wall. He groaned and dropped his weapon. Kale stared in awe. You said you didn't want to use your power. I didn't, she said, but he gave me no choice. The man tried to stand. Iliari walked to him, calm but powerful. Who sent you? she asked. He laughed, blood in his mouth. Don't get it. You're not safe. You'll never be safe. Iliari's voice turned cold. Who sent you? The man smiled weakly. Oh, someone who knows your value. Someone who wants the throne back. Her breath caught. The throne is gone. Not to them. He pressed a button on his chest, then vanished in a flash of light. A teleport, Kale cursed. We need to move again. If he marked this place, more will come. Iliari stood still, heart racing. He said, "The throne." Kale looked at her. "Do you know what that means?" She nodded slowly. "If they find me, they can use my blood to restart the war machines, ships, satellites, weapons hidden in space." Kale rubbed his forehead. "Then we just went from hunted to critical." "I never wanted this," Iliari whispered. "I know," he said. "But now we fight for peace." She looked at him, something like fire in her eyes. "Then let's stop running." Kale raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "I want to know who's hunting me," she said. "And I want to stop them before they use me as a weapon." Kale nodded slowly. "All right, but if we do this, there's no going back." "I'm already past the point of no return," Iliari said. She picked up the enemy's dropped weapon. It glowed red. "I've run long enough," she said. "Now I strike back." The power she hates the room shook, not from bombs, not from machines, but from her. Iliari stood in the center of the old warehouse. Her hands burned with blue light. The ground under her feet cracked. Dust floated in the air like ash. Her eyes glowed like twin stars. She screamed. The scream wasn't loud, but the power behind it was. The steel walls bent. The broken window shattered. And Kale was afraid, not of her, but for her, Iliari. He shouted, "Stop. You're hurting yourself." She didn't hear him, or maybe she didn't want to. Her memories were louder than his voice. Flashes in her mind, her mother's eyes full of fear. Shouting, "Run." The firestorm falling from the sky. Soldiers dragging her father's body away. The sound of humans cheering. And now, a stranger in armor had called her a key. Not a person. Something inside her broke. Again, "I don't want this," she screamed, her voice shaking the very air. Kale rushed forward. He grabbed her shoulders, ignoring the pain from her energy burning his hands. "You're not a weapon," he shouted. "You're not what they want you to be." She blinked. The light in her eyes flickered. Her hands dimmed. She fell to her knees, shaking, gasping for breath. "I didn't ask for this," she whispered. "I didn't ask to be born with this power." Kale dropped beside her. His palms were red with burns, but he didn't care. "I know," he said gently, "but it's yours. You can still choose what to do with it." She looked at him, tears falling now. "They used my power to destroy cities," she said. "My blood opened doors to death. That's why they want me." Kale nodded. "And that's why we can't let them find you. Not unless you decide what happens next." She was silent. He sat with her for a long moment, then said, "Where did the power come from?" She wiped her face. "My people call it the Veil Light. It lives inside certain royal children. It's old, ancient. We never fully understood it. My mother said it only grows with emotion. Then it's tied to your heart," Kale said. Iliari looked at her hands. "That makes it dangerous." Kale shook his head. "That makes it human." She almost smiled, but her face darkened again. "You saw what I did. Ha! I nearly brought this whole place down. What if I lose control again? Then I'll be there," Kale said. "To remind you who you are." She stared at him. "Why do you keep helping me?" He paused. Then said, "Because you remind me of someone who died before she had a chance. To be more." "Your daughter," Iliari said. Kale nodded. Iliari looked away. What was she like? She was stubborn, he said, smiling faintly. Brave. She once tried to fix a broken robot with only a spoon. That made Iliari smile, for real this time. A small, soft smile. Sounds like she would have made a good engineer. She wanted to build ships, Kale said. Ships. That brought peace, not war. Iliari's smile faded. Then I hope she made it to the stars. Kale looked at her. Maybe she did. Through you. A soft beep interrupted them. Kale pulled out a small device. A message was blinking on the screen. Movement near Sector 7. Unidentified energy detected. They found us again, he muttered. Iliari stood. Then we need to move. Fast. Kale nodded. I know a contact. Old war tech, lives off-grid. Might help us figure out who's tracking your energy. Will he trust me? Iliari asked. He'll trust me, Kale said. That's enough. They packed quickly and left the warehouse. The streets were quiet, but the air felt wrong, like something was watching. Iliari kept her hands in her coat. She didn't want to feel the power anymore, not unless she had to. They reached a rusted gate at the edge of the city. Beyond it, only forest. Kale knocked on a metal door hidden behind ivy. A woman opened it, older. Wearing goggles, her arm clearly robotic. Kale, she said, still bringing trouble. This one's special, he replied, and in danger. The woman looked at Iliari. Her eyes narrowed. You're the spark, aren't you? She said. Iliari froze. What? The veil light, the woman whispered. The one that can wake the sky machines. Iliari's heart sank. But you know? Oh, child, the woman said, stepping aside. Everyone hunting you knows. Kale and Iliari entered, and the door slammed shut behind them. Outside, in the trees, the red eye of another drone blinked. The alien queen's daughter. The underground lab smelled like metal and smoke. Screens buzzed. Wires hung like jungle vines. Old machines blinked to life as the woman in goggles, her name was Mira, tapped on a broken console. Iliari stood. Still, her heart was loud in her chest. Kale stood beside her, watching the screen, but keeping one eye on her face. He knew something was wrong. Mira's voice broke the silence. You don't know the full truth, do you? Iliari looked up. Her hands clenched. What truth? Mira turned the screen toward them. A photo appeared. It was a younger version of Iliari, just a child standing beside a tall alien woman in royal white robes. Behind them were soldiers, banners, and Sol. And Lusan. That's your mother, Mira said. Iliari stared. Where? Did you get this? It's from Earth's secret war files. Myra answered. Classified. Hidden deep. Took me years to steal it. Kale frowned. Why would Earth keep that photo secret? Because of who the child is, Mira said, looking at Iliari. Q. Iliari felt her knees weaken. I was never told. I thought I was just a survivor. Q. Not. Mira nodded slowly. You're not just any survivor. You are the last heir of the Iliari Empire, the daughter of the alien queen. Iliari stumbled back. Kale caught her arm gently. Iliari, no, she whispered. This isn't right. Mira walked closer. That's why they're hunting. Your blood isn't just royal, it's coded. You hold access to the throne ships, hidden weapons. The last war machines of your people. I don't want a throne, Iliari said, voice shaking. I never did. Doesn't matter. Mira said, others do. Kale looked at Iliari. You said the throne was gone. It was, she said. My mother said it died with peace. Myra turned back to her screens. Well, someone thinks they can rebuild it. All they need is you. Iliari sat down. Her hands trembled. Why? Didn't anyone tell me? Kale crouched beside her. Maybe your mother hid the truth to protect you. Iliari remembered the last time she saw her mother. The fire, the panic. The final words, run and never tell them who you are. She had followed that command for years. Now the secret was out. Iliari Kale said softly, you don't have to be what they want. You choose what comes next. She looked into his eyes. But what if I'm the only one who can stop them? What if I'm the reason another war starts? Myra spoke without turning around. There's a storm coming. Word spreading across systems. Some alien generals believe the Queen's daughter lives. They're gathering ships, preparing to rise again. Kale stood. It's not just about hunting Iliari. It's about using her for a war she never asked for. Myra nodded. Exactly, Iliari stood now too. Then I need to stop them. Kale raised an eyebrow. How? She walked to Mira's console. Give me access to those files. The secret ones? I want to see who's leading this. Myra hesitated, then nodded. Fine. But once you open these files, you'll be fully exposed. They'll know you're alive. Iliari looked over her shoulder. They already know. Mira typed in a few codes. The screen blinked, then showed a face. An alien male, dark-armored, eyes glowing red. Kale stared. Who's that? Iliari's voice went cold. His name is Varric. He was my mother's war advisor. Mira added. Now he calls himself the Regent of Flame. He claims he will restore the Iliari Empire by force. He was loyal to her, Iliari said. How could he turn like this? Kale's voice was calm. Power makes people forget who they used to be. Mira handed Iliari a data crystal. This holds everything we know. Names, locations, ships. If you want to stop him, start here. Iliari took the crystal. It felt heavier than it looked. Suddenly, the lab lights flickered. A loud boom shook the ground. Kale grabbed his weapon. They found us. Mira pulled a lever, opening a hidden tunnel. Go, she shouted. I'll slow them down. You'll die, Iliari said. Mira smiled. Girl, I've been waiting for a good ending. Kale pulled Iliari toward the tunnel. The air behind them turned red as plasma beams exploded through the lab. They ran, dust and heat chased them down the tunnel. Iliari looked back once, just once, and saw Mira standing strong with her metal arm raised, blasting at shadows. When they finally reached the surface, the sky was on fire. Ships hovered, sirens rang. Drones swarmed like angry insects. Iliari looked at Kale, her voice steady. I know where Varric is hiding. Where? Kale asked. The Vault of Ash, my mother's secret chamber. It holds the crown. Kale blinked. You're going to take the crown. No, Iliari said. I'm going to destroy it. His last promise smoke filled the air. Ash rained down like snow. Iliari stood at the edge of a canyon carved by war. Far below, hidden by fire and stone, was the Vault of Ash, the final resting place of her mother's crown, the last symbol of the Iliari Empire behind her. Kale limped slightly, one hand pressed to his ribs. He was bleeding, but he hadn't told her how bad it was. They had escaped the attack only hours ago. But time was running out. Are you sure about this? Kale asked, voice rough. Yes, Iliari said without turning. If the crown exists, they'll use it. They'll say, I wore it. They'll start a war in my name. And if we destroy it, then the throne stays empty, forever. Kale nodded, though every breath was harder than the last. Then, let's finish it. They climbed down slowly. The canyon walls were sharp and black, as if fire had licked them for centuries. At the bottom, the vault waited, a giant stone door covered in glowing symbols. The light inside the carvings pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. Iliari stepped forward. Her hand hovered near the center. Kale reached out. Wait. She looked at him. He placed something in her palm. A necklace. A small metal charm in the shape of a bird. My daughter wore that, he said quietly. She said it would keep her safe. Iliari stared at the charm. Are you sure I should have this? He nodded. She's gone, but you're still here. And I promised her I'd help someone fly again. Her eyes softened. Thank you. Then she placed her hand on the vault door. A deep sound echoed through. The stone dot the door opened, not with violence, but with silence. Dust fell from the cracks. Cold air flowed out like a breath held for years. Inside, it was dark. And waiting. They stepped into the vault. Statues lined the hall. Old Iliari. Kings and queens carved from crystal and bone. At the center of the chamber sat a platform, and on it, the crown. It was beautiful, silver and black, with a soft blue glow. It seemed to whisper. Kale stared at it. So small. Yet it could bring a galaxy to its knees. Iliari stepped toward. But something moved in the shadows. A voice filled the chamber, low and sharp. Step away from the crown. They turned. Varric stood there, his armor glowing red, a long black blade in his hand. Behind him, soldiers. Hybrid ones, not fully. Human, not fully Iliari. Twisted by tech and war, Iliari stood tall. This ends now. Varric smiled cruelly. You were supposed to be dead, my princess. But you lived. You ran. And now, you return. To give me what's mine. Kale raised his weapon. Shh, she's not giving you anything. Varric ignored him. I loved your mother, I served her, but she was weak. She wanted peace. I want strength. She wanted hope, Iliari said. You only want control. Varric's voice turned cold. Then you are no daughter of hers. He raised his hand. His soldiers moved. Kale fired first. Red beams flew across the chamber. Stone cracked. Statues fell. Iliari threw up a shield of blue light to protect them both. Kale fought like the soldier he once was. Fast, focused, fearless. But there were too many. A shot hit him in the side. He fell. No, Iliari screamed. Her power exploded outward, blue. Light tore through the room, slamming soldiers against the walls. Varric held his ground, pushing back with his blade. Iliari. Kale coughed, blood in his mouth. Destroy it. Now. She ran to him, dropped to her knees. You're bleeding too much. He grabbed her arm. I made a promise. I won't lose another girl. You have to end this. Tears filled her eyes. I can't lose you, she said. Kale smiled weakly. I already knew my story was ending. But yours? Yours is still being written. She leaned close. He whispered, burn. The crown? She stood. Her hair floated now, glowing with energy. Varric charged. She didn't move. Instead, she turned and faced the crown. Raised both hands. And with all the light in her heart, she destroyed it. The crown shattered. A sound like thunder rolled across. The vault! Varric screamed, falling to his knees. His armor cracked. His soldiers collapsed. The light that linked them to the crown broke. Iliari fell to dot, her power drained. Her body weak, but it was done. The crown was gone. The war could not return. She crawled to Kale. He was still, silent. She held his hand. I did it, she whispered. I stopped it. The charm he gave her, the bird glowed softly in her palm. She kissed his forehead. You kept your promise. The new dawnlight rose over the ashes. The war vault lay silent, now broken stone. Shattered machines, and the quiet hum of peace where once death ruled. Iliari sat beside Kale's body. Her eyes empty, her fingers gently holding the metal bird. Charm he had given her. The man who had once been her enemy had become her only friend. He had given everything to help her destroy the crown, the last symbol of control, of war, of power, and now he was gone. But his promise had lived. A soft wind moved through the canyon, carrying smoke and sunlight above. The sky was finally clear. No ships, no drones, just peace. Iliari stood slowly. Her body ached. Her power was quiet now, not gone, but resting. She could still feel the veil light deep inside her, but it didn't feel like a curse anymore. It felt like a memory and a duty. She looked at the ruins of the crown. Silver pieces lay scattered. Glowing dust floated upward, vanishing into the air. There would be no new queen, no empire, only a girl, and her choice. She climbed out of the canyon alone, but the world was not empty as she reached the surface. She saw people waiting, humans and Iliari, not soldiers, civilians, survivors, refugees, journalists, children. News had spread fast. The last princess lives. They stared at her, not with fear, not with anger, but with awe. She walked past them, silent. Someone called out, "Is it true? You destroyed the crown." She stopped, turned. "Yes," she said. "The war is over. I ended it with my own hands." A woman stepped forward, human. She looked like a mother. "My son was in the city you saved. Thank you." An old Iliari man came next. "My queen." Iliari shook her head. "There is no queen, not anymore." "Then who will lead us?" he asked. She looked at the sky. "You will lead yourselves, together. No throne, no ruler, just people, choosing peace." The crowd was silent. Then someone clapped. Then another. Then the sound grew, claps. Cheers, tears, not for a queen, but for a girl who had given them a new start. A new dawn. Days passed. The galaxy changed. Without the crown, Varak's army crumbled. His lies were exposed. His power fell like a house of dust. Some of his followers fled into space, some surrendered, some vanished. But the war was over, truly over. And Iliari became more than a legend. She became a symbol, not of bloodlines, not of power, but of choice. 1 month later, a quiet forest stood where once a battlefield raged. A small memorial stone sat under a tree, carved into it, Tikale, a soldier who chose peace. Iliari stood there, alone. She wore no crown, no armor, just a long cloak, and the charm around her neck. "I planted the tree like you said," she whispered. "You told me life should grow where war once lived." She touched the bark. "It's already taller than me." A soft sound behind her footsteps. She turned. A young girl stood there, human, maybe 10 years old, with a blue flower in her hand. "Are you her?" the girl asked. "The alien girl who stopped the war." Iliari smiled. "I was. Now I'm just a traveler." The girl offered her the flower. "My dad said you were sad when your friend died, so I wanted to give you something." Iliari took the flower, heart warm. "Thank you. That means a lot." The girl pointed at the tree. "Is this for him?" "Q? Yes," Iliari said. "He was brave." "The bravest," she whispered. The girl nodded. "Will you come back?" "Maybe," Iliari said. "But I think it's time I see the stars again." The girl waved. "Goodbye, traveler." Iliari watched her go, then looked up at the sky. The stars were waiting, not as enemies, not as battlegrounds, but as possibilities. Later that night, ship lifted from the ground, quiet, silver, shaped like a bird. Inside, Iliari sat at the controls. She didn't fly for a crown. She didn't run from her past. She flew toward her future. Ah, voice echoed in her mind. Kales, someone has to care. Someone has to choose peace. Why not you? She smiled. I will, old friend, I will. And with a burst of light, the ship vanished into the sky, a streak of hope across the stars. The war was over, but her story had only just begun.